Welcome back to another episode of Leveled Loot. I am one of your hosts, Krosh, joined by Miles, and we are at the Nintendo Switch experience in LA. We just got out. We've been sharing our thoughts. We're live in the moment, just feeling fresh, and we wanted to share them. We've been sharing them all week with you guys on our channel, so be sure to check it out on Temple of Geek's YouTube page and everywhere there. But today, right now with this one, we want to talk about the Gamecube experience, Dragon Drive,
Yes.
and some of the third-party games that we were on. So let's start with Gamecube. Miles, what do you think of what they're offering, what they're planning to do with Gamecube on Nintendo Switch on launch?
I love it. Personally, when they first announced it, I was a little salty because they keep they keep remastering all these GameCube games and selling them at $60. So I'm like, you should have just gave us this on NSO years ago. Something like a little salty there. I'm so happy it's here. The GameCube controller felt great. It has all the new buttons, has the C button, which we actually haven't talked about yet, but that's because we weren't able to use it. It didn't work.
We didn't have that feature. And yeah, it's more of a community online kind of feature.
Yeah, so wasn't it? But yeah, the NSO app is great. I'm a huge retro gamer, so having all these old games is great. I don't know if any of the older consoles have this feature, but you can give it a CRT filter.
Yeah.
And there's a speed run mode. So you can use different versions of a specific game. So you got to play Strikers and Soul Calibur 2, right?
Yeah, so there were 4 games available: Wind Waker, F-Zero,
GX,
Smart Car Strikers, and Soul Calibur 2 were the 4 games available right now. I think when it will launch.
Yeah.
I tried Strikers and Soul Calibur. With the CRT, it felt like I went back in time, and it was such a great experience. With the controller, it was so good. I like what they're doing with it. I do agree on the point of like having done what they've done with remasters. I feel like there needs to be like an extra now going forward with when you do that for any prior game, there needs to be a strong reason as to why.
Yeah.
I don't just want a touched up graphics. I want a genuine, like, hey, we'll come back, we've revisited, we're tailoring it to a newer experience.
Like Wind Waker HD.
Suggestion. Yeah, it'd be a suggestion. Outside of that, though, this being a way to preserve these games and to have it available and have it for us to be able to play on the current ecosystem that they've been cultivating. Big fan of that. I want them to continue doing that. I'd love to see games that are just so hard to find. So just the preservation.
Path of Radiance.
Oh my god,
is eventually coming. That game's like $400. Like,
yeah,
this is great for preservation.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, making things available and accessible to folks that didn't get a chance to play them or want to show them with their kids or with their family and friends. So I love what they're doing with that. I love the way it felt. It was so easy to jump in and out of those 2 games. I did a few rounds of Mario Strikers, got a few goals. I was like, hey, I'm out. Made my point. And now let me go beat Link and beat up on Ivy. So what do you think of what you played?
Yeah, I mean, Wind Waker's Wind Waker, man. It's one of the greatest games ever made, but I had to like relearn how to play because at the end of the day, it's a 21-year-old game. It did feel clunky. That's why I would rather have Wind Waker HD with like the modern camera controls and everything. And then one other thing about it is that it's going to have the extended Triforce quest, which is going to take forever, and the slow sail, which is what Wind Waker HD fixed.
Yeah.
And so like it's weird not having both, but we had Mario Kart 64 both on NSO and Mario 3D All-Stars. So Wind Waker HD is technically still on the table. But sorry, focusing on the NSO aspect, it's great. I'm very happy it's here.
Very interested to see what they add.
Yeah. Twilight Princess next, please.
Give it to us.
Yeah.
Next up, we should talk about Dragon Drive. What do you think of Dragon Drive?
When it was revealed, again, I was pretty skeptical about it. I was like, okay, it's not going to control well. It's going to be boring. It was so much fun, actually.
I think playing with friends is be a big highlight for this game. It initially felt like a way to just showcase the motion of the mass controls.
It's going to be a great party game.
Yeah, I think a big party.
But you have to have multiple Joy-Con, which is...
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's going to require everyone having a copy of the Switch 2 or multiple.
Well, actually, you can game share now.
Oh, right.
But it's just the Joy-Con problem.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
They thought about this. with virtual cards and with game share.
Yep.
Like,
No, but it felt great. So basically, you're playing wheelchair basketball. But and I don't know if you can control it regularly, but you use the mouse mode and like you would in a wheelchair and like steer or whatever with each wheel.
Yeah.
That's how you're controlling with the mouse Joy-Con. It doesn't feel like it should work well, but it works well. And then you shoot the ball like an actual basketball.
yeah, once you hit someone, you get the ball, and then you'd fade. I was doing a few fadeaways. Miles went up for a free layup.
Yeah,
A windmill.
windmill snap.
It was interesting. I didn't have the bar for me was kind of low personally, just because I wasn't expecting much of it. But
Sure.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Um,
As a game itself, like there's not a lot there. It's 3-on-3. Baby's first Rocket League.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as fun if you're just playing, obviously, but the fact that you're playing with like this tactile mouse Joy-Con, it's interesting. I don't know how much it costs, but I don't know if this is something I would pay for, but it's definitely interesting.
yeah, it was an interesting new concept. And then let's get into third party
Stuff.
What
Yeah.
what do you want to highlight?
So I think one of the most important things a lot of people are curious about is Cyberpunk 2077, which it runs on the Nintendo console, which is crazy. So we played dock mode only. Definitely not 60 frames, but I mean, I don't think so.
No.
Anyway, it didn't feel. It didn't. It. Ah, man, I'm of two minds here. Like I'm happy and I'm impressed that it's there. But I don't think it ran well, and it felt clunky and slow. There was a lot of T-posing, a lot of stuttering. Like it ran kind of how you would expect this game to run on a Nintendo hardware. So
It was interesting. I thought it looked beautiful in moments, but when it got really hectic, there was a point where you initiated a huge fight, like randomly, and that was where I saw some frame stuttering and some hiccups. But what I was talking to one of the developers there, and what was interesting was the thing they're most excited about from a lot of their team is how they're implementing new inputs. So being able to play with the Pro Controller, and adding the gyro effect. So being like, if Splatoon's one game that I've used that before, where when you have the gyro controls with the Pro Controller, it helps with the aiming a little bit more. Then you have the Joy-Cons, which is a new way that they've ever done, and they were very excited. There's like, they are very stoked to see Joy-Con specific inputs of swiping melee attacks. So in those,
didn't hear that word.
yeah, when I was talking to him,
That's pretty.
I was very interested and curious about like that intended development incorporation with like, hey, I've spent 1,000 hours in this game, and now this is like doing and doing and like just playing at that high level. You've upgraded everything, and yeah, making an experience. Then they're doing the mouse control.
I really want to see how that feels. It feels great on Metroid Prime. I'm dying to see how it feels on this hit.
And then like the handheld mode. So it's them being able to build this into a tailored kind of experience for all those different input modes, I think is the most interesting part for me. It looked solid. I think for me, I compare it very much to like what I would experience on a Steam Deck, which it runs, it plays pretty well overall. Not the best. I mean, if you want that, you get like a souped up computer, or you play it on a PS5 or Xbox. But the fact that it is playing on the Switch 2 and you have these options makes it that much more available. And it's the Ultimate Edition, so it's coming with Phantom Liberty. It's coming with all the DLC,
all the updates, the
on a little Switch cartridge.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy.
So I was pretty high on that. Other games that were there that were like third party, there was Yakuza 0, the definitive edition. That's a timed exclusive.
First time with English voiceover.
Yeah. So seeing that there was cool. Hades 2.
Oh yes, I've been avoiding Hades 2 early access because I want to wait for the 1.0 release. So this is my first time playing it, and it's just more Hades, but it's great.
So good.
It's great. It looked beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy we talked about a little bit before.
It ran well, like mechanics wise, but I don't think it looked very good.
Hey, to me, seeing these other games, very demanding. Civ 7, Street Fighter 6, Hogwarts, it felt like, oh, now we're getting a lot of PS4, Xbox last gen kind of games coming here. So I'm wondering one day when we'll see other games coming, like if we ever see a game akin to a God of War or Southland Midnight or an Avowed coming to this, being able to play that on Switch, I think just gets more people like, hey, I have the Switch. What else can I get on it?
Yeah.
Potentially viable now with the hardware bumps it's getting.
100%. Yeah.
Anything I missed? Fully missed?
You did play Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star World. I don't know what it's called.
Oh yeah, the something stars. It's an added on new expansion to Kirby that's going to be coming out for the Switch 2.
Yes.
And actually, yeah. And I'm very curious what other games are going to do with that. Hey, we're remastering or we're making the Switch 2 version of a game and potentially adding something. So I'm wondering, I know like Zelda is just amping up and adding the app.
It's like an app to keep track of Koroks, gear, take notes, whatever. Yeah.
So I'm curious if other games are going to have amped up versions with a different feature or new gameplay or something. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Anything else? Do I have that?
I mean, yeah, there's a couple things that they didn't have that I was hoping they would. One of them being Bravely Default HD. That's day and date with the console. I would have loved to see how they handle remastering a 3DS game. It's a great RPG. I don't remember it utilizing touch controls, so it's probably pretty easy to port.
Maybe.
And then Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, they are getting upgrades, but it wasn't here, and I'm dying to see how it looks now. Yeah.
Very good game. Just yeah.
The game's great. It's just so ugly, man. It's so bad. Yeah, but yeah. I think that's everything, man. Yeah.
It is very curious seeing old retro stuff being brought in with the GameCube, the newer stuff with the third party and their own first party stuff. So I think this kind of encapsulated all of that. And we've had our thoughts and we've been sharing them all week with you guys. We appreciate it. Let us know what you want to know more. We'd love to maybe have more of a dialogue with Danov as well. You're getting outside perspectives, both from him and from you guys of those that want to know more about it, about the hardware, about the games. So please check out our stuff. Follow and subscribe, Temple Geek, Level Loot, all the jazz. You know where to find us. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching.